Eala wins Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy in Kuyong Classic. Eala captured the Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy at the recently concluded Kuyong Classic in Australia. The exhibition tournament announced Eala's achievement on Friday through its social media account. Advertisement. We are happy to announce the winner of the Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy is Eala, the tournament said. Congratulations to our women's 2026 Kuyong Classic champion. In the tournament, Eala defeated Donavikic 6-3, 6-4. The trophy is named after Australian tennis icon Evonne Goolagong Cawley, a former world number 1 and a 4-time Australian Open champion. She also has titles in the French Open and the Wimbledon. Eala now shifts her focus to the Australian Open, where she will face American Alicia Parks in the first round. In 2025, Eala had a historic season where she entered the WTA Top 100, won her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara, and captured her first Southeast Asian Games gold medal. When the quiet became thunder, Eala and the Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy. The courts of Kuyong do not shout. They listen. Long before stadiums roared and let screens blink statistics into the night, Kuyong learned the language of tennis through rhythm, leather soles brushing grass, the soft crack of wood-meeting ball, applause that rose politely and fell like a held breath. It was here, on this historic stretch of green in Melbourne, that the past often leaned close to watch the future arrive. On this particular afternoon, the future walked lightly. Eala did not enter the court as a conqueror. She came as a listener, too. Eyes steady, shoulders loose, her racket held not like a weapon but like a promise. The Kuyong Classic had always been a place where legends warmed up for bigger stages, where names already carved into tennis history sharpened their edges. Yet now, history paused, curious, as a young Filipina stepped forward and claimed its attention. When the final point was played, it did not explode. It settled. And with that settling came something extraordinary. Eala, champion of the Kuyong Classic, recipient of the Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy. A trophy that carries a voice. The trophy bears a name heavier than metal. Evonne Goolagong Cawley was not just a champion. She was a story that refused to be quiet. A First Nations Australian woman who learned tennis on a cracked court, who rose with grace rather than fury, who proved that softness and strength were never enemies. The trophy that carries her name does not merely reward victory. It honors spirit, elegance, and the courage to belong in spaces that once insisted you did not. Eala understood this, even before she lifted it. As she stood near the net, applause rippling across Kuyong like a respectful tide, there was no wild celebration. Instead, there was reflection. For a brief moment, it felt as though two timelines overlapped, Evonne's Bayfair beginnings and Alex's long journey from Manila to the world stage, stitched together by a shared refusal to shrink. From the tropics to the grass, Eala did not grow up on grass courts like Kuyong's. Her tennis was shaped under tropical skies, on hard courts warmed by sun and humidity, where discipline mattered as much as talent. Her strokes carried the patience of someone who learned early that nothing would be handed to her. Not rankings, not recognition, not belief. She traveled far for this moment. Across oceans, cultures, expectations. At Kuyong, the grass demanded adaptation. The bounce was lower, the rallies quicker, the margin for error thin as a whisper. But Alex did not fight the surface. She listened to it. She shortened her steps, trusted her timing, and let her left-handed forehand glide instead of strike. Each match became a conversation rather than a battle. Opponents pressed her, tested her nerve, tried to rush her decisions. Alex responded with calm, not the calm of passivity, but the calm of control. She constructed points like stories, with patience and intent, knowing exactly when to end the sentence. The final, where belief takes shape. By the time the final arrived, Kuyong had leaned in. Spectators sensed something unfolding, not just the emergence of a winner, but the revealing of a presence. Alex played the final as though she belonged there not because she had proven it, but because she had always known it. Her serve found its marks with quiet authority. Her movement was economical, almost understated. And when pressure arrived, as it always does, she did not rush to escape it. She stayed. There's a particular kind of bravery in staying. Match point came not with drama but with clarity. A rally, a measured exchange, then a final shot placed just beyond reach. The ball landed. The match ended. The future stepped fully into the present. Eala had won, lifting more than a trophy. When she lifted the Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy, it was not heavy in her hands, but it was meaningful. She did not raise it high in triumph right away. Instead, she looked at it, as though acknowledging the story it carried. In that moment, the trophy became more than silver. It became a bridge between generations, between continents, between a young girl who once dreamed quietly and the woman now standing in her truth. For Filipino fans watching from afar, it was a moment that rippled deeply. Tennis had often lived on the margins back home, overshadowed by other sports, other narratives. Yet here was Eala, not asking for permission, not waiting for validation, simply arriving. She had not just won a tournament. She had expanded the map. A victory that speaks softly and lasts. Kuyong does not keep scoreboards forever. Matches fade. Applause drifts away. But some victories stay, not because they were loud, but because they were right. Eala's win at the Kuyong Classic was not about dominance. It was about alignment, of preparation and opportunity, of history and possibility. Winning the Evonne Goolagong Cawley Trophy placed her in a lineage defined not by excess, but by excellence with humility. It told young players watching that you do not have to roar to be heard, that grace can be competitive, that coming from elsewhere is not a disadvantage, it is a perspective. As the sun dipped over Kuyong and the crowd dispersed, the court returned to its quiet. But something had changed. The grass had learned a new rhythm. The air had carried a new name. Eala walked away not heavier with expectation, but lighter with belief. And somewhere between past and future, Evonne's legacy smiled, not because another trophy was lifted, but because its meaning had been understood.